Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over arguably the most hyped up card in the Paradox Rift expansion, Iron Hands EX, paired up with Chien-Pao EX. Paradox Rift is the brand new set that is about to release and is expected to be one of the most impactful sets we've had in quite some time. And today we're going to be going over arguably the most hyped up card from it, Iron Hands EX. With that being said, if you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's hop into it. Already hopping into it, we have Iron Hands EX, the card that it seems like everyone has been talking about. And the big question that people have been asking is this card game breaking? This card is fantastic against lightning weak Pokemon, Lost Zone Toolbox, Gardevoir EX, Lugia V-Star, and all small HP Pokemon. This card has a ton of potential. There are many lightning weak Pokemon currently in the standard format, most notably Lumineon V and Lugia V-Star. Lost Zone Toolbox has been plaguing the standard format for about a year now, so having a nice card that can check it is really cool to see now in the standard format with that Iron Hands. Gardevoir EX is arguably the deck that is going to take the biggest hit with this card releasing, because Gardevoir is a much slower deck, meaning that Iron Hands is just going to be able to run through them a lot of the times before they even get set up. What does exactly Iron Hands do? All the things I've said makes the card sound pretty good. Iron Hands has that arm press, dealing 160 damage. That's not the thing we're going to be worrying about. We're going to be using that amp you very much attack, dealing 120 damage, which at first glance isn't very powerful. However, if you look at its second effect, that's what makes it just so strong. Its effect on the attack reads: if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, you take one more prize card. A similar effect that Altered Creation on Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia tag team saw that completely warped the standard format years ago. So the big question is this card game breaking? And my honest answer is I'm not entirely sure. I think at the beginning of the format, this card is definitely going to warp the format quite a bit. However, I think as time goes on, players are going to have to adapt to it. Yes, you do take multiple prize cards versus the Lost Zone engine. However, they still have things like Dragonite, which hit exactly 230. Lugia V-Star does have some one prize attackers, specifically things like Stonjourner, which are able to hit Iron Hands for weakness and take them out. The biggest deck that I think takes a hit from this is Gardevoir. Gardevoir, being one of the most powerful decks in the format, has been dominating the standard format for quite some time. I think really gets put in check. Gardevoir admittedly needs time to set up, so being able to use Amp You very much over and over again, taking multiple prize cards, and even if they respond, KO it, typically they're responding with a damaged Pokemon, because Psychic Embrace requires you to damage yourself, which means that if they just set up another Iron Hands, they can take even more prize cards. So I think the deck that is going to take the biggest hit is Gardevoir EX. But yeah, this card is pretty much just absolutely insane, and I think it makes a perfect choice paired up with Chien-Pao, which we'll be able to go into the list shortly. All right, let's move on. Moving on here, we have potentially the best overall card in this set. And what I mean by that is a card that could see play in almost every single deck that plays basic energy in the format. We have Earthen Vessel. Earthen Vessel, you can play this card only if you discard another card from your hand. So that effect is actually kind of nice, because you can just thin out your hand, especially in decks that play things like the Bibarel engine. You'll be able to thin out those extra cards. Anything that plays VIP Pass as well, you'll be able to thin those extra cards out in the latter portions of the game, which is just absolutely fantastic. What it does, you discard, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So the one issue with Iron Hands is that it takes a lightning energy, which means that a lot of decks that might want to play this card don't play lightning energy. So this card fixes that issue, because you can search out that 1 or 2 of lightning energy pretty easily with this Earthen Vessel. And you can also get yourself a water energy, which works absolutely fantastically with how this deck is built. I think this card is absolutely fantastic. It's going to see tons of play in lots of different decks, and works specifically well in this deck with what specific cards we play to easily access this Earthen Vessel. If you get the Earthen Vessel off, you can find that light energy, and you can also find a water energy to be able to power up that Iron Hands to take knockout after knockout. All right, let's hop into the list. The list will also be in the description as well, so make sure to go check that out. Alrighty, here is the list that I have been working on, and I think it has a ton of potential. Here it is. We have Chien-Pao EX Baxcalibur paired up with Iron Hands EX. Looks relatively similar to a standard Chien-Pao list. However, there are some new interesting cards that we've already went over that now have been included into this deck. Your strategy still remains simple in a lot of ways, using that Shivery Chill to get energies into your hand to then use the Radiant Greninja to discard energies, which then opens up the superior energy retrieval. You have the Bibarel as well with that Industrious Incisors, allowing you to draw plenty of cards, making yourself Roxanne or Iono proof. Radiant Greninja as well provides a fantastic attacker with that Moonlight Shuriken, and how we get all these energies in the field is with that Baxcalibur's super cold 3/3 line of that. We want to make sure we get that out as consistently as possible every single game. We have Iron Hands EX as well in this deck, which is going to be absolutely fantastic against a lot of those smaller HP Pokemon with that amp you up attack. You can use the Baxcalibur to attach 3 water energies onto Iron Hands, and you can attach the lightning energy as well, which is easily accessible with Earthen Vessel, which you can find off that Irida, allowing you to search your deck for any item card and put it into your hand is incredibly powerful, because when you don't need that rare candy, you can just instantly search for that lightning energy, get the light energy on the Iron Hands, and if it gets knocked out later on, then you have superior energy retrieval, which allows you to get that back as well. Earthen Vessel also just in general is an absolutely fantastic card just to get more water energies out of the deck. One of the few issues sometimes in the early game Chien-Pao can deal with is not having enough energies because you haven't just seen enough of them. So being able just to see more energies, get 5 or 6 energy on the board, and then rely on superior energy retrievals towards the end of the game is often what you're going to be trying to do. This list admittedly doesn't have very much room for the cross switcher engine anymore, so we've decided to focus on Boss's Orders and Lumineon as well. I think it's a little bit more of a stable engine that just doesn't lose oftentimes off getting rough Pokestops, which is the reason as to why that Pokestop count is a little bit lower, just at 3 as well. The rest of the list here is relatively standard. You have things like Lost Vacuum, which is great to get rid of Path or certain tool cards, specifically things like Bravery Charm that might see play in Lugia decks now to try and survive, or just, some decks might start to play Bravery Charm to try and prevent Iron Hands from taking knockouts. Now you have that Lost Vacuum to remove that. Hisuian Heavy Ball as well is really strong, because sometimes you want to use back-to-back Iron Hands, and if you can't find Super Rod to get back one that was just knocked out, you can sometimes run into problems, especially also with now just a 1/1 Bibarel line instead of having a 2/2 because you had to make space for some other cards. I think that the Hisuian Heavy Ball has a lot of usage because you really want to get that Bibarel up as consistently as possible. I currently have 8 water energy and 2 lightning energy. I think this is the fine count as of right now. I think that you could potentially go up to 3 lightning energy, or maybe even go up a 3rd Earthen Vessel and cut water down to 7. There are a lot of interesting things that you can kind of tinker with this deck, but this is kind of just the base list as of right now. Iron Hands has so much potential, and I think it's going to be one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the standard format. Anyways, that is going to do it for today. Let me know what you think of Iron Hands in the comments. Let me know if you think it is a top tier deck, or if you think the deck is completely overrated and is not going to see a lot of success. As I said a little bit ago, the deck list will be in the description as well, so make sure to go check that out. I think this deck is absolutely fantastic, and when it gets going, it's pretty difficult to beat. But anyways, that's going to do it for today. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for all the support recently. I appreciate it. This is SmartTGG, and I'll speak with you again soon. Peace. If you're looking to improve your game, I do offer coaching on Manaphy. I was ranked in the top 16 ranked players in the world last season, and I know what it takes to improve your game. My students want to combine 3 regionals last year, and I know what it takes to reach that next level. I do offer a free coaching consultation so you can get an idea whether or not coaching works for you, and along with that, I also have a singular sessions, training packages, and more. If you're looking to find out more information, feel free to book that free consultation, or also don't hesitate to shoot me a message on Discord. My Discord will be in the description. All right, thanks for sitting around and listening to this. I appreciate it. This is SmartTGG. I'll speak with you again soon. Peace out.